Blood Covenant, a V5 Saban story, is a production of Simulacra Studios. This podcast is intended for a mature audience and contains descriptions of violence, sexual activity, mental illness, body horror, and inhuman, supernatural depravity. If you're not comfortable with what you hear, please feel free to skip ahead or stop listening. If you'd like to support the show, please visit patreon.com/Simulacra Studios. Though honestly, I don't know why you fucking bother.
Layla and Payslee, you are led down into the basement of this nice house. It's much like the upstairs. It is sparse, spare. It's finished. Like, it's not like bare concrete walls, but again, no niceties, no accoutrement, very little in the way of furniture. But he eventually takes you into where, like, the water heater is, where the gas mains are, and he pulls over a very old, dirty rug where there is a metal hatch that, like, maybe like a bomb shelter or a mudroom or something. And he says, "Very few have seen what lies beyond here." And he opens it and motions for you to go down.
Is it stairs or a ladder?
It is stairs.
Okay.
You first, my dear.
Okay. And I'm just gonna trot my happy little butt down.
And he follows you and closes the hatch behind. When he does, that seems to trigger some sort of switch, and very low lighting starts to turn on. And you walk down, and you recognize this based on a combination of general occult research and because you've seen something similar to this before. This is a full, still apparently consecrated and maintained temple to Set.
Does make me a little uncomfortable, I won't lie, but I'm not gonna show that.
And Layla, you have been in dozens of these.
How bittersweet. Is it, like, very well maintained? What's it look like?
Yes, it is clearly maintained, not so much in the sense that it sees regular use, but nothing's out of place. Nothing is left to disrepair or neglect.
It's intact.
And fully consecrated.
Yes, it is.
Why?
There are a number of reasons. This was my sire's. He fooled us all for a very long time. Ironically, not to his devotion to Set. Even this was a layer of his deception. He sold his soul for power, for insight. He corrupted himself in ways that even our blood does not generally do.
This is incredibly upsetting to Payslee, like she is visibly shooketh, selling souls.
He looks to you, Payslee, and says, "Yes, very upsetting. I will not say that I was without emotion or regret when we finally put him to the stake and the sun and cleansed him. He was my sire, but it needed doing."
She resonates very, very strongly with those words. Because Leone and Buck and the crew, they put hers out for the sun too. And so there's this sort of like, the exact same thing, huh? And she sort of almost like, she smirks at it almost like, oh, it's not just me then. Because that was something she was anxious about. And she is like, okay.
But that alone is not why we maintain this. There's something here, something of great interest to Sabbat in general, but we who call ourselves Nodist. And in order for it to be of use to us, it has to be properly contained. And this, disgusting and blasphemous as it is the only way to truly contain it.
It makes me wonder then about what was like left behind. I don't know if I want to think about that.
Well, I suggest that you do, because not tonight. I think we've scoured our souls a little bit, just enough tonight. But sometime soon, I am going to show you what we keep here, and you will understand why we keep it, and I think it will help you.
I hope so.
So Payslee,
Yes, sir.
she needs to be ready for what she sees.
Understood. How would you like me to help prepare her?
She needs to be open. She needs to be ready to confront that which is in her blood.
Like, when he says that, and she just, like, drops her head, like,
Time for a fireside, then.
fireside. Okay.
He actually blinks a few times, and he kind of steps back, and like you get the sensation that he's actually really looking at you for the first time, Payslee.
If I could blush, I would.
It's not a nice look.
Oh no. Oh no.
He says, "What faith were you when you drew breath?"
I was of the Church of Latter-day Saints, otherwise known as Mormon.
I see. I met Joseph Smith.
Really?
Yes.
I mean, I can't say he's my prophet anymore, but that is very interesting.
As he looks into your eyes, his glow slightly with a light amber hue, and you are under the effects of entrancement. And he says, "I have never met a more obvious and apparent charlatan and fool and purveyor of mortal chicanery in my entire existence. And I think I smell the excrement of the deception and lies and self-aggrandizement that he shat out with his church. It clings to you, and I think you've internalized it, haven't you, Payslee? You haven't really let it go, have you, Payslee?
I've used it to contextualize things.
You will never truly walk the path of Cain until you have scoured yourself of it." And he breaks the entrancement and leaves you with your own emotions.
So Payslee is broken down. Crumbled.
Layla, tend to your priest.
Of course. She sort of, like... Did you physically crumble?
Physically, she is on the floor she's kind of sitting in that weird Slav squat, with just hands over her face.
Come on, sister. Stand up. It's undignified. And she sort of, like, picks you up almost, like, supports you.
From the shoulders, yeah.
Yeah.
He says, "I will call you. You should return to your pack."
Come on, sister.
Before we leave, I'm gonna open up that crazy-ass purse, and I don't care how many napkins fall out, but I'm gonna pull out my quad and I'm gonna hand it to Ezekiel.
He takes it from you, and the moment it leaves your hand, he just drops it.
I'm gonna look at it, and I want desperately to pick it up, but I'm not going to.
He proceeds to go about the temple, making little adjustments, and just pays you, the two of you, no mind.
Layla will stoop down, pick it up, and, like, get us to the door of the temple. And up and out of this horribly nostalgic hole. And as soon as we're mostly out of earshot, "Are you okay? Like, are you gonna be okay?"
No, I'm not okay. I've used the teachings that I've learned to contextualize when I should have. I should have abandoned them. And instead I use them to justify and contextualize what I know to actually be true. And it's... I feel like I'm not being a good priest right now, but I feel like it's... I've been leading people astray if I can't even get my own act together.
The driver woman that drove you here is there, and she sort of motions you back to the car.
Yeah. Sort of like when people try to get celebrities into cars away from the paparazzi, she's just like shielding her on the way in. She just puts her coat over. Layla's actually never seen her like this. This is because usually Payslee's there's a determination about her that never really wavers. Annoyingly so, actually. But this is unlocked territory.
Yeah, shit just got really real. There's a crack in the facade, and the smile is gone.
Yeah, the dam is leaking water, and it's a little bit alarming.
So she drives you back to the communal haven and sort of drops you off in that car park. Leon, in the depths of this crypt, Father Marcel has taken you aside, and he says, there are options available to you, but I think what my associate has shown is that you need to get yourself together if you're going to be of use to the clan and to the Sabbat.
Yeah.
What do you know of the paths?
I know my sire, Black Mary. She has walks. She taught it the night, path of night.
Like my friend.
Yeah. It's interesting, but I'm observant. I'm an observing Catholic. And so I can understand it. It reconciles a lot of what we are. But I'm not sure. God and I are not spoken very often.
It is a path that many Lasombra are attracted to. But it's not the only one. I don't walk that path.
He looks down like he knew that, but he was like, I actually don't. I've heard rumor that you and some of those in Montreal were special.
I don't know if special is the word, but we walk a path that is more suited to, in many ways, we are the opposition to the path of night. We're in a conversation with it. Those who walk that path are concerned mainly with damnation, whereas my path, nocturnal redemption as it is known, is actually concerned with salvation, but not in the way mortals do, because we can't walk that path. We believe that one must understand sin and sanctity in equal measure. One must move through cycles, ever approaching the flavor of salvation that the Lord offers us.
To be honest, and I guess to do this right, I have to be honest.
Yes.
I've never been one for salvation. Even in life, I said my prayers and I took communion. I did what I need to, but I also had a job to do. And I find myself in the exact same situation, even in death.
We must all walk our own paths.
I don't know much. He looks around at the books and stuff. He's like, this isn't my arena. It wasn't what I trained to do, had a talent for. So I don't know where to go.
Well, you're in the right place. But I need to let you know something. I need to let you know what the stakes are here. I'm going to tell you something that not many outside of the city ever really find out. Our city has this reputation of being a place of dark sanctity, of enlightenment. And it is. But until recently, there have been things festering here that we have only just truly rooted out. We have been infected, you see.
He looks very serious for a moment. Like, instead of being very inquisitive, he's gone very stern.
The servants of the infernal have been amongst us. In places closer to the heart of power than any are truly willing to admit, but it was a very close thing. We were able to finally root them all out, destroy them all, The Inquisition had a lot of work to do here, and we are as certain as we can be that we've gotten them all. But there's a reason why they were here, and what we are doing with the Inquisition, what my friend and I have been collaborating here, is the reason. There is a great evil in the mountain, and we don't know what to do about it.
Well, he looks down like he's deep in thought, and then just a few moments later, he looks up and looks at Marcel, and is like, well, Father, I am at your service.
As it should be. We all serve Clan Cain and his sword.
Yes.
So, you need to make yourself ready to help us with this task. You need to strengthen yourself.
I will.
And if you bring something new to the table, then I think your star will rise amongst us.
Understood. I won't fail.
And I don't think I need to say it. But what you have learned here is for you.
Understood.
And you alone.
I have to talk to my priest about thoughts.
You should return to your pack.
I will.
Be careful about what you say to her.
And then he'll say, as he leaves, he's like, in nomine patre.
In nomine patre. So yeah, you're able to take a taxi back to the Haven.
Perfectly stone cold quiet, just sucking on that cigar.
So obviously Reggie is first back to the barracks area. Well, does Reggie head back to that little room that has been prepared for you, or where does Reggie go?
Yeah, he probably would retire to, privacy to go even out his hands. And then he's not a juggler by any stretch of the imagination, but he would probably start by, taking, a pencil and flipping it and trying to catch it. Just a very annoying little tick thing, but just trying to train his hands to use the extra digits.
And, Buck, where would you be going after being dismissed? 'Cause it's starting to get late.
Did we have a meeting place that we had decided?
I mean, you guys have that room in the communal haven. You haven't arranged for another place other than that.
Oh god, the terrifying, disgusting communal haven?
It was your room in the communal haven.
Right. I guess I'm going there.
Okay. You make your way back. You see Reggie in one of the bunks playing with a pencil. Do you think you'd pay Reggie enough mind to notice that he's made a small alteration, or are you focusing on other things?
I feel like with what I've just learned, I'm probably in that hyper-aware mode. So I would probably notice it, but I also would not know whether or not that's a thing he wants to talk about. So instead, I'll just kind of nod politely to him.
He'll wave.
And Buck will be disturbed, but going about his way.
Have a good evening?
Well, I had an evening. Remember, before we came here, they said this place was going to test us?
Yeah. I take it yours was pretty heavy?
Mine was the beginning of something heavy, yeah. There's more heaviness yet to go.
I think that's how it's gonna go for all of us. Mine was intense, for sure.
And at this point, I am going to just sort of clearly with my eyes play over the enhancements that have been made, and I'm going to say, are you feeling okay about it?
Yeah, I was shown something. I got no reason to be secretive about it. I got to be the cathedral for a minute, maybe? And that was...
terrifying.
Yes, but wonderful? So I figured, because of our situation and our itinerant nature, I've been a little hesitant to go full wacko, as it were, but we're in a pretty safe place now. So, trying some new stuff out.
Well, if this reads as being a little, cheerleadery, I don't know, there's probably a better word for that, but if this reads as being a little silly, I guess, bear with me. But we're all learning. Our Father gave us all our own gifts, and I don't understand what the fuck is going on with all of this, but you need to know that your pack is here to support you.
Thank you.
And that's when Layla and Payslee come into the room. Has Payslee become more composed, or has the breakdown maintained?
The breakdown is still in full effect, but she has composed herself to a dead quiet. She has not wiped the blood tears from her face. She has let them cake on, and she is staring forward. And when she sees the bunk with all her things and all that human artifice, she's just going to quietly go over and start breaking shit. And she's going to take the fairy lights and start popping the lights one by one and just throwing them aside and taking anything personalized and throwing it away and breaking it.
I look to Layla.
Layla is standing in the doorway still, with like her arms crossed, like cupping her chin, like with her eyebrows up.
And if you don't move to stop her, I don't move to stop her.
Yeah, Layla's just like sort of tight-lipped, eyebrows up, like mouthing, just let it go.
I try to thumbs up with the other thumb.
Leon, you come in and you come down the hall and you see Layla kind of standing in the doorway there.
There's a large, looming, dark presence behind you now.
Oh. Welcome home, Leon.
His eyes are completely black. Like, he is in a mood.
She just scoots, takes one big step to the side.
He moves into the... He looks like he's about to talk to you guys like Buck and Reggie, and then stops and just turns to Payslee.
If I see Leon enter the room, I'm going to stop my quiet carnage, slowly walk over to him with my head bent and just say, I failed you as your priest. Please forgive me.
He's quiet for a moment, and then he looks... I haven't said you failed me.
You didn't need to.
Putting words in my mouth, then.
Not yours.
Obviously something has happened. He looks over to Layla.
She sort of gives him a dire expression.
We played Scrabble tonight, that's all.
That's a lie, and you know it?
Yes, but it means please don't question further.
He actually does something he never done. He puts his arm on your shoulder.
And since Leon's somebody I kind of respect, I'm just gonna... Like, the tense calmness has just melting a little.
He looks to Reggie. It takes him a minute, but then he realizes there's something different about him.
Well, at least somebody had a good night. Gosh, dang it.
I mean, I had a pretty good night, actually.
Yeah, it looks like you're in a chipper mood. There's a lot to talk about. And he's like addressing all of you now. And there's a lot to think about. I definitely saw and know things that deepen my understanding of why this place is important. Why we have to do what we need to do here. So, tomorrow evening, when we rise, we need to find our own accommodations and get comfortable. Unless we are called back by Vicos or another one of the higher-ups in the chain of command, we're going to be here for a while.
Reggie, you have a glimmer of pre-awareness. You see a shape move behind Leon in the doorway, but that's all you get until someone is just very suddenly in the room with all of you. She is built like a gorilla. She is wearing cargo shorts and a tank top, so you are able to fully see that all of her flesh is the consistency of melted wax. She's just there amongst you.
He'll turn.
Hey there, beautiful. Who the fuck are you?
She just takes all of you in. I am Templar Candle.
He nods and he gives a big, not a bow, but his head lowers.
I actually, once I hear Templar, I do rise, and well, it's a pleasure to have you in our presence then.
Buck just glares at her. Like she did something gauche.
I am to let you know some things before the dawn comes. I have been given instructions by Priscia Vicos. Instructions I have chosen to follow. They are instructions, in relation to you all. More specifically, the mortals who are close to you. Point of curiosity. Do you know where your people are?
Not as of right now, but we assumed that their location would come up eventually.
I see. So our little bit of theater at the airport didn't fall on deaf ears and eyes. Good. They have been brought to Montreal, and they will be kept here until you all are done with your business. They are to be unharmed, unperturbed, unless I get different instructions from the Prisky. But they will be kept from leaving. Are there any questions regarding this?
Yeah, I got a few.
He looks at you, like, very sternly, like, don't say a word.
And Buck just does not pay any attention to that at all. We're supposed to be breaking the ties of our mortal lives. The last thing in the world I wanted was to see that bitch again. I wanted to forget that she ever fucking existed. But you guys brought her here, I suppose. Some old world attempt to teach us a fucking lesson. I guess my question then is, the fuck is wrong with you two?
When he's done talking, there is suddenly a very large fist in his face.
Are you adding potence?
Yes. Because I know how tough he is.
I have fortitude, so I'm going to ignore that he hit me, and I'm going to continue.
It is that unstoppable force meets immovable object hit. You hit with a solid goddamn hit, and Buck, you feel it. He hit you, but it doesn't deter you in any way. But he just hit you with a haymaker.
I'm going to turn around and I'm going to glare at him. And I'm not going to do anything. I'm not going to strike back. I'm just going to glare at him. And I'm going to say, I thought we were free to follow our goddamn conscience in the Sabbat.
But there is protocol.
Ain't no fucking protocol. We either are free or we fucking ain't. So which is it?
He will look to the Templar.
Yeah, when this thing between Buck and Leon happens, all of you are distracted, and you look back, and she's gone.
Oh.
So, Buck.
So, Leon.
Let's close the door before we have this argument, actually.
Well, it shouldn't be an argument. Challenging me. Monumency.
I don't believe I've said those words, motherfucker, but I'll say them if you want me to.
That's your choice.
Gentlemen?
Here's the thing. That is a Templar.
So? She ain't better than me.
Yes, she is.
No, the fuck she's not.
Then you'll need to prove that. That's the point of all of this.
Look here, when you motherfuckers picked me up, when you made me a part of your pack, when you were teaching me all about the glories of the Sabbat, you fed me a whole line. Was it bullshit, Leon?
No?
Then why are you backtracking like a goddamn circus bear on a unicycle now?
We taught you about the freedom within the Sabbat, correct?
Yeah, you did. And I believe you taught me that I'm free to say what the hell I want, and that nobody was better than me, and that we're all children of Cain.
We are, but we're also at war. There's a chain of command. There's a decorum. There is respects to be paid. This is why we have...
You know what's funny? I got accused of sounding like the Camarilla tonight, yet you're the one who sits up in here and sounds like an ivory tower motherfucker to me. I have been told, and I came to believe, that there weren't nobody better than me, that we were all the children of Cain, and that granted us certain, status.
It does.
But now you're telling me that these guys, I have to obey some kind of fucking decorum?
Yes.
Fuck you.
I think we're in might makes right territory, unfortunately, and that person is...
Well, then they can beat my ass. And if they beat my ass, I'll buy them a drink and we'll move on with our lives.
Part of it is you being, how do we put it, that no one's better than you, but that does not make you the best.
I'm the best until proven otherwise. And you ain't proven shit to me, Leon. You sure as shit ain't proven shit to me by undercutting me when I'm trying to find out something important from one of our so-called superiors.
You were posturing.
You're supposed to be a member of my pack, Leon. Are you a member of my pack or are you a member of hers?
Are you a member of mine?
I thought I was.
And who is the Ductus?
I was under the impression that the Ductus was supposed to take care of us.
And I will. I have been.
When? Show it.
And I was.
You were? By telling me that I had to bow and scrape to some fucking noodle from a fucking... I don't know what any of these fucking titles mean.
All you had to do was be quiet.
I'm never gonna be quiet when I don't want to be.
Answers would have been forthcoming. And I would have gotten them. Now, because of this situation that you instigated, they're gone.
You're so full of shit, Leon, you should be in jail. She was always gonna go.
But we'll never know.
It's true. She was.
We will know. Everybody in this room knows. And you can be mad that I was the one of the two of us that had the fucking balls to say what we were all thinking, but I don't give a fuck if you're mad. You're getting real close to me deciding maybe I should be the Ductus. But not tonight. Tonight, I've lost a lot of my respect for you. Let's see if you can win it back, leader.
Very well. I'll be waiting for that challenge anytime.
On a personal note, Leon, if you could play the game a little bit to maybe try to suss out what their little plan is or what they're doing. Obviously, the Templar doesn't give a hot shit, but someone around here is gonna blab. So, if you could figure what the plan is there.
I will attempt to do so. I think many of us have people on the line, and we all need to do something about it.
And to be clear, I'm not doing this because it would hurt my feelings or anything if they were to... It's just hack. You know? Like, it's just hack. I hate it. I hate that they're doing that. I think it's very silly.
Well, if you notice, and something I was going to bring up before the Templar decided to interject themselves, something that I'm sure you all noticed, is we were all divided tonight. We were all shown probably something that they wanted us to see. Now, it may have been important and necessary for us to see, but they wanted us apart. The pack is only as strong as if we are together, and we'll need to keep that in mind going forward. Now that they have doubly confirmed that they have leverage. Buck, do you want this person back?
No. No, I don't want her back. I want her gone from my life, but I don't want anything terrible to happen to her either.
That's all I needed to know. Thank you.
And if I could just put forward one more thing, and then I'll shut up. Because, well, I'm a little tired, honestly. What if the roll my eyes here, test, big quote fingers here, is to leave them alone? Because part of this has to be about letting go of our mortality, right? Our mortal lives, the part before. What if some grand scale attempt to deal with that is just another hurdle? And, I mean, if they're being honest, which I have no reason to believe they are, that they won't just throw them in a ditch when we've given them what they want. But it's kind of a damned if you do, damned if you don't situation. Well, damned all the time, I guess, but whatever.
Welcome to the Sabbat.
Ew.
We will all need to work hard to navigate this. They're poking at our weaknesses, obviously. We've already exposed one in front of them, as he looks directly at Buck. So, we need to think on that, and we will need to talk to one another. As he looks over to Payslee. You're just kind of like sitting on your bed or something?
I'm standing in the middle of the room, just like white static, just like, not there.
So, I'm gonna, in another rare display, it's like, obviously the blood bond showing here. Like, I'm just gonna be like, hey, why don't you, let's move this, and I'll start moving some of the destroyed shit off your bed. It's like, you just sit, and I'm just gonna gently, if you allow him to, like, don't slap him away, guide you down, and just to sitting.
I'm going to collect myself. We'll get rid of this mess tomorrow. And we'll come at this from a fresh perspective, and maybe we can all learn together. Because I was shown, of course, tonight that my faith, I need to re-examine how I think things. And how I just give that information to you all. So I think we could all use a very nice rest.
And I feel kind of bad that I had a positive experience tonight.
You know, actually, I'm happy for you. I'm very happy that you had a positive experience.
You had a good night up until this.
Pretty great. Pretty great. Well, alright. These things happen. We are all somewhat beasts. Here and there.
And we're gonna get a control on that. We're gonna get a control on that.
Just be mindful that in the coming days, people, as Leon said, are going to try to needle the shit out of you two and try to make you fight. And
I think so.
But be wary, they're gonna needle you as well, just in different ways. And then he looks over at Payslee again. And I think someone has already been very well needled.
I have been very well needled, but it was needed. It was needed. It was a spiritual awakening.
And he looks to you, and the black in his eyes goes away. And so have I been very well needled tonight. My weakness has been shown to me, and I will do better. Buck, if you feel that I'm not doing what I'm supposed to do as your ductus, that's fair. I will try to do better, but I would like it if you worked with me.
Shit, man, I was always going to work with you. You just start running your mouth and I want to pop you in it. I'm fine. You're still my fucking bro.
Oh my god, that's so fucking touching. I love it. You guys fight, but in the end, you still have each other. It's like brothers. Sometimes you just, knock each other's teeth out, but at the end of the day, you're brothers.
they grow back.
I grew up with 3 brothers, so yeah, kinda.
Yeah, I had 14 brothers. I get it.
Jesus Christ.
But Reggie is correct. Let's rest, think. And then tomorrow night, we'll have work to do.
And you all begin to feel the tug of the sun as it robs you of agency, of consciousness. And you're able to pull yourselves into your beds where you are protected from its rays, and you all fall into the sleep of the dead. And that is where we're going to leave the Blood Covenant for now. Thank you all on behalf of the players and myself for listening to the first season of Blood Covenant, a V5 Sabbat story. If you want to hear more of this story, please go to patreon.com/simulacrastudios and become a patron. We have all of Season 2 recorded, but we need your help to produce it and bring it to the point where it's ready for the public. Certain levels of patronage give you access to all of our raw recording files, so you can learn what happens to these Sabbat vampires in the dread city of Montreal. Thank you once again for listening to our vampire story, and if you'd like to hear more, go to patreon.com/simulacrastudios to help us produce Season 2.